Good morning and welcome to today's video. So today is the Mexican meal collab, progressive meal collab that this was started by Lady Jamers several months ago. It started out with just kind of some ideas thrown around, and it's kind of become a monthly thing now, so we hope you're enjoying these collaborations. So it's Mexican food. You've just had an appetizer. I hope you all enjoyed that video just as much as I did. And today, now you're here with me. So let's get started. So for our main dish, we are going to be making something that Sam really enjoys. It is when I make Mexican food that's not like build your own nachos or tacos, this is what he requests. It is easy beef enchiladas, and the recipe is from Betty Crocker online, and I will be inserting that link in the description below. So the ingredients are massively simple. 1 pound of lean ground beef. It calls for at least 80% ground beef, but 70-30 would work as well. 2 cans, 10 ounce each, of Old El Paso red enchilada sauce. Now, when you see me cook, you'll see that we didn't buy the name brand Old El Paso. We bought off-brand. 1 can, 4.5 ounces of Old El Paso chopped green chilies. 1 package of Old El Paso flour tortillas for soft tacos and fajitas. So they are a 6-inch tortilla. And 1.5 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. Now, one of the differences right away that you're going to see is that I'm not using this. Hiccups are horrible, I'm telling you guys. I am not using the 6-inch flour tortillas. I am actually using the larger burrito size tortillas. In the photo, if you think of your pan as like this, the smaller size go dip, 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 all this long way. With the larger burrito size, I do them this way instead of long way. They go boop 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 boop. So really, in theory, you're making roughly the same amount, but they're just a little bit larger. Sam would prefer to have a couple big ones instead of like a whole bunch of small ones. So let's go make this. I can't talk today. Let's go make this. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go wash our hands, and then we will meet up in the kitchen. So we're in the kitchen and we're getting ready to cook, and I was just going to show you, here's my 2 cans of red enchilada sauce. As you can tell, they are just the Best Choice brand. And I have my green chilies. So the instructions are to first preheat the oven to 375 degrees. So I'm going to do that right now. And then it says in my skillet, I need to turn it on, otherwise things won't cook if the skillet isn't on. Cook beef over medium-high heat, 5 to 7 minutes, stirring occasionally until thoroughly cooked. Now, as you can tell, it doesn't call for any seasoning of the meat at all, and that seems very weird to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to add just a few seasonings to spice up the ground beef and give it a little bit of flavor. So I'm going to add just a little bit of fajita seasoning. I don't have taco seasoning at the moment, but that way I'm going to just a little bit of fajita seasoning, a little bit of paprika, some salt, a little bit of salt, some pepper, and I'm going to add a little bit of sriracha chili powder from the Sparks Merchant in Wichita. So my skillet is on. I am using a cast iron skillet, so I want to make sure to get that sprayed, otherwise it will stick. My ground beef is simply a package from our local grocery store. They have a fresh meat counter, and I really enjoy getting beef from them. This is 1 pound, but what I like about it is that if I'm making something that doesn't require a lot in one recipe, I can ask them to change up how it is packaged. I have even had them weigh it out into 4 quarter-pound patties for me before. And that was very, very awesome of them. So, all we're going to start out with is browning our ground. We had some smoke going on with this, didn't we? That's sometimes what happens when you're cooking in a cast iron skillet. Okay, so the next step, it says to drain, but there is not that much liquid. That is one of the things I do like about the ground beef from our grocery store. So it says to stir in 1/2 cup of red enchilada sauce and the green chilies. So we're going to go ahead and dump in our can of green chilies. And then I am just going to kind of eyeball. This is a 10-ounce can, so roughly a little less than half. So just pour some in. Nope, looks like we need to do a little bit more. Pour a little bit more in. Yep, that looks about perfect. Okay, so we're going to just stir all of this together. You guys cannot smell the green chilies, but they smell so, so good. I do have it turned down to simmer, so I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. I was kind of letting some of the smoke dissipate. So the next directions say to spread 1/2 cup of enchilada sauce in the baking dish. So roughly we're going to pour what's left into our casserole dish. So I'm going to finish stirring this up. We're going to grab our casserole dish and start working on finishing up dinner. enchiladas ready to go. So the recipe says to pour the remaining red sauce, which is our other can, over the top. Now, typically I don't use a whole lot of red sauce. I am actually not a fan of red sauce, but because the recipe calls for it and otherwise they will burn, I will use it. I will just end up scraping a lot of it off. As you can tell. And those, you can see there was some meat mix remaining, so I just kind of threw it on top. Then it says to add your remaining cheese. So the remaining cheese out of my bag is going to go on top. Woo! Big pile of cheese. Okay, that works. And I will just kind of sprinkle it around. Okay, so here's what it looks like before it goes in the oven. So it says to bake at 375 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes or until hot and bubbly. I'm going to go with 20 minutes and then check it just to make sure that I don't overcook it. And if it needs the extra few minutes, we can definitely stop it back in. So let's get it in the oven and we'll see you back here in 20 minutes. Alright, so 20 minutes seem to be absolutely perfect. As you can tell, the cheese is nice and brown on top. It's bubbling. Now, it's supposed to set for 5 minutes, and then we can serve it up, and we will have our enchiladas for dinner. So, Sam's home from work, in the door, and I gave him dinner. What do you think?
It's good.
Give it a 1 through 10.
11.
Ooh, that means he really likes it. So here it is. This is just one of the 4. As you can tell, it takes up a good amount of space. We do have some sour cream that I'll probably put on there. We picked up some chips and salsa and queso. But next, you're going to be headed over for some side dishes. This was our beefy cheesy enchiladas that I modified from small ones to large ones just so that it made more. And as you can tell, Sam loved them. So you've had an appetizer by Lady Jamers. You've had your main dish by Lena of Life with Lena. Now you're on 2 sides and a drink by T. Marie Photography and Diz Our Dream. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in an upcoming video. And hey, stick around after the end for a preview of what's to come. Bye!